it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be setting up my Laurel Denise Undated Portrait Planner for the month and the week ahead. This is month 3 for me in this amazing, amazing planner. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how obsessed I am with this. It has totally reignited my planner spirit, my love for planning, stickers, all of the things. I have been having so much fun planning in here. So we're gonna get the monthly base all set up, my dashboard spaces, my journaling spaces set up for use later in the month. And then also we will plan week 1, weekly functional plan with me in here. So I'm gonna do this the same way that I did my May video. This month for June, I'm gonna be using this Pretty Pink Co sticker set. This is called Vitamin C. This is probably from a few years ago. If you don't know, I have an extremely large collection of sticker kits from when I was a memory planner, and I have not been buying any stickers. I am still buying washi, but I have not been buying any stickers at all this year, and I'm trying to use up as much of the things in my collection as I can. To that end, I actually did pull out some like other types of stickers, some Clever Gal Craft stuff, some date covers, other things that I just had in my collection that I thought matched with this. And then of course I've got my washi, a lot more than this, but this is the new Simply Gilded washi that I like just got. Love this, so beachy and cute, and I think it's gonna look really nice together. And then I also have just a whole pile of other washi. If you don't know, I probably have like more summer themed sticker and washi than any other season. I love just like the aesthetic of it all, but also I just love summer, and we spend a lot of time at the beach at the summer. So I have a lot of like beach themed stickers and beach themed washis in my collection to kind of go with the vibes of that. I'll be using beach stickers pretty much all summer long. So this will be for June. I actually already picked out what I wanted to use for July, and then I'll have to see in August. But anyway, I'm really excited. But before we dive into planning, I thought I would show you how all of my May spreads turned out. So this plan with me is already up. This was the first time that I posted like a full monthly setup plan with me in here. I absolutely love this. I used this kit called Golden Hour from JK Creates Co. and like just like a bunch of, you can kind of see with all the fun colors and everything. I had so much fun. So you can check that out if you haven't already. We've got the monthly calendar up at the top here. I loved having like the little extra stickers to kind of fill in some of that white space. Obviously love the washi. So I am current with my habit tracker right now. It is currently May 29th. Here is how that dashboard space ended up working out. I'm going to be bringing in some of this stuff to June and making some changes. I feel like I used it more than I did in April, but it's still very much a work in progress. Then this is my monthly wins and highlights. I did that in April too because I had some extra space, and then I just kept that going. I really love that. It's just like a fun little decorative journaling spread. I used some extras from the stickers for that. I will be using, again, same as this month, the same markers, washis, stickers, color motif for the whole month long. So that has been working really well. Here was week 1. That was also featured in the plan with me from May. Then we've got week 2. And zoom you in a little. Then here was week 2. This one I actually have a sped up plan with me on Instagram, and I think it's posted here as a YouTube short as well. So if you want to check that out, you can. And then we've got this week here that happened after that. This is when I got like super sick last month, and I was sick for kind of like a while after that. So anyway, that is what the spread kind of thinned out as I ended up just really not feeling well. And then this is actually the last week in here. This was last week, so the week of the 19th through the 25th, leading into Memorial Day. So super cute, just kind of finished that out. And then I didn't actually realize this while I was planning, but if you don't know, this planner, the Laurel Denise Undated, actually has like a small printing error depending on when you purchased it. And some of the months actually only have 4 weeks instead of 5. So if you're planning in here, check before you start planning. But then also there are free extra inserts of the weekly spreads that should have come with your planner, but if they didn't, reach out to customer service and they'll send you some extra pages that you can bring in. I'm honestly not too stressed about it because I do think like there's enough weeks to be going in here, and I actually didn't even get a chance to sit down with my planner until yesterday, which was Wednesday. So I just decided I wasn't going to set up a weekly spread for the week anyways, just because we were away over Memorial Day weekend, and then we came back and I had like a ton of stuff to catch up on, so I didn't get to sit down with anything on Wednesday. So I was just like, you know what, this week, I don't need a planner spread. We can just focus on getting set up for June, which is what I'm doing now. I did my goals yesterday. I'm gonna do my planner today. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it. So anyway, this is my line of day memory keeper. I am also live with that. I'm also current with that. And then this will be a journaling space. I've not done that yet. I'm gonna wait until the end of the month, but I'll probably take care of that at some point this week or maybe early next week. And that is how I use my May planner. So now we're here on the blank spaces. I did go ahead and count the pages. This one is also a 4-weeker, but just the way that the weeks fall, I only need 4 weeks for this, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Another thing that you can do is, because some of the weeks in here do have 5, I believe this one is a 5. Yeah, so like this next month is a 5-weeker. So you can also just like, if you don't mind going out of order, you could also do that to kind of match the number of weeks in your month to which section of the planner that you're using. So anyway, lots of ways to work around that. And also you can get the free inserts if you did purchase this planner. But yeah, so today I'm gonna dive in and set the monthly stuff all up. But yeah, I think that is enough chit-chatting. Let's go ahead and dive into the planner setup.
So I am gonna get started with laying down the decorative base, starting with the washi. I was just testing some things. It's not, the washi and the kit are not like exactly a perfect match, but I think the way that I've brought them together throughout the month ends up working super well together. And then I got to use the sticker kit that I wanted and the brand new washis that I had, which are not so new anymore, because I did film this right at the end of May. It was like right before June started. I did have everything set up on time, but then as per usual, I just kind of lost track of things. And June is always one of the busiest months for this year, but this year it has just flown by and it has felt so intense. And so right now, while I'm recording this voiceover, it's actually June 24th. My kids are now in camp, but we did have like some vacation time. Plus I had to get my oldest daughter all packed for overnight camp. So it was just a very, very busy month, and I just never really got around to editing this video. And then I kind of forgot about it a little bit. And then I was just circling back around and was like, oh, hey, I better share this. I think it's, it's just a fun summary setup. And I will actually be using this planner again next month. I'm getting ready in a few days. I'll work on my July spreads. I just, I had been toying with the idea of switching to the new Erin Condren layout, and I do still really like that layout, and I will definitely test that out for a week or something. Or a few weeks if I really like it. But I'm just really still loving this planner very much. I'm finding it like really, really functional. It's also easy to catch up with if I like miss a week, which I did last week because we were on vacation, or not really like full on vacation, but staycation/vacation, part of the week just home and part of the week at my parents' house, which is at the beach. So yeah, we just had a really nice time and everything. So I wasn't like with my planners, and then I came back and I was able to kind of very minimally catch that up, do like a little bit of journaling style planning, similar to what I did with my vacation in April, just with way less writing. And that's worked out really nicely. So I think I'm going to stick with this. It just kind of gives me just enough space on the weekly setup to kind of plan out the things that I want to be working on, which is actually really, really good, because as I'm getting ready for July and as the kids started camp this week and I feel like back a little bit more in control of my schedule, just the whole end of the school year was just super, super busy and like very kid focused. And now I have the time to devote towards other things. And I have just decided that I am going to spend like a significant chunk of time this summer while the kids are at camp working on cleaning and decluttering our house, like deep cleaning. I want to go through every room like top to bottom. I actually did already start this. I started in my oldest daughter's room because she's away at camp now and I wanted her to have a say in some of the things that we were doing. So we worked on it a little bit together, and then Guy got some information with her so that I could like kind of finish it up. She's going to get a little bit, she already got like half a room makeover, but we're going to finish out like the makeover on her room a little bit more as well. Almost everything that she has, like furniture, rug wise, all of storage wise, is all from when she's a baby, and she's 9 now. Actually, her furniture has held up like amazingly well. We're not looking to replace the furniture, but I do want to replace her rug and get her some like different toy storage. We're also going to take a lot of the toys out of her room because she just doesn't play with them that much anymore. There's only like a couple of things that she regularly plays with, and that's American Girl dolls because that is like her obsession, and Legos. And I don't think she needs like all of these older toys that she never touches, like taking up space in her room. We can, go through them do a big toy declutter for everyone, but also like gift things along to younger siblings or put them in our playroom. They don't need to be taking up space in her room because she tends to save like everything from school and things like that. So I feel like her room is always very cluttered. Anyway, but she helped me go through things, and I'm going to finish that up. And then I'm going to work on the other kids' rooms, the bathroom, and just kind of going to work my whole way through the house and see how it gets me. I am still procrastinating doing the kitchen, which definitely needs this treatment a lot, but the kitchen feels pretty daunting. But it also definitely really needs it. Like the kitchen needs a deep clean really, really badly. So I will eventually tackle that as well. Hopefully every single room, and then I'll leave the garage to my husband. I'm sure I'll help him with it, but also not doing that when it's like 95 degrees outside, which we're in the middle of a heat wave. So that's definitely not happening right now. So I am just finishing up with the last of the decorations. I did really go all out with the kind of silver deco that I had. Like I said, I have so many stickers from when I was a memory planner. So I've been really trying to like pull more of that out, keep it out, and really use up some of that. I do also want to reorganize my stickers. My foil I think is actually okay, but a lot of my other stickers. So I will eventually get to that as well. I am started with the first floor. It's actually now the next day while I'm finishing up recording this voiceover, because we ended up losing power yesterday and then didn't have power all day. We had this like massive storm at our house last week. Well, not just our house, our whole neighborhood. Our house and our stuff was okay. We got power back like after 12 hours, whatever. But our neighbors just got their power back yesterday after like 5 days. And so yesterday the utility was just like in our backyard trying to fix their stuff. And anyways, so they had to shut off our power for a while. But I'm really glad our neighbors have power back, because that totally sucks. It's happened to us before. Anyway, I also set up the other page where I drew those numbers. That is my line a day memory keeper. I've loved having that back in this planner. And now I'm going to get set up with this kind of like dashboard page that has the monthly habit tracker. I said this in my video last month, but habit tracking and like actually keeping track of my habits has been going so much better having this set up as a monthly habit tracker rather than like a weekly habit tracker doing every week. I'm not sure why this is working so much better for me, but it is. So I'm just going to go with that. I have just been keeping the same habits, and I'm going to do, I think, the same habits this month as I did last month. But first I actually went ahead and set up the exercise tracker thing that I put at the bottom. And this was for my goal that was related to like working off my ClassPass balance, which I was super close to doing in May. I didn't quite get there. And then in June, I didn't actually end up going to any classes in the first half of the month and ended up rolling all my credits. So I'm back at the beginning, but I think I will be able to use them all in July and August and hopefully accomplish that goal. I just basically, things got really crazy with the kids' schedules and also when I was sick and everything. So yeah, it didn't work out, but I'm back going to classes again and hopefully we'll do that. For my habits, I have the same ones as last month, like I just said, which is to accomplish something productive every day. The kids' routines / screen time. My PM routine, our daily cleaning routine, and then getting to bed on time. And then I just finished up by doing a little decoration on this front page here. This is where I've been putting my wins and highlights for the month. So I will journal that out at the end of the month. But that is everything for the like kind of base of the setup. And then I actually went through and finally put in my calendar. So I'm kind of transferring this over and color coding it from Google Calendar, and then also using this as an opportunity to double check that things are correct on my Google Calendar, that things have reminders that need reminders, and that I'm not like double booked anywhere or like other thinking about things that also need to be scheduled, etc. So I just find this process really helpful. I'm not usually a fan of like duplications between my planner and my digital systems or between planners, but this is one instance where I do find duplication extremely helpful. And I do also keep my Google Calendar set up so that the week starts on Monday rather than on Sunday, which is the default. It's in your settings, so you can change it if you didn't know that. And I do find that that's extremely helpful. Also, one, just for the way I think since I'm a Monday start person, but two, also just for transferring things over into my planner. Somehow I always still get confused with the days, but in general, it's much easier when both things start on the Monday. So now I'm ready to plan for the week, but it was actually Wednesday by the time that I got to this. And the reason for that wasn't necessarily because I was like running late, but my daughter actually didn't have school on Monday and Tuesday, just my preschooler. This is the last time I will ever say that because the rest, well, I guess there'll be one more time that it happened in my planner, but it wasn't when I was filming, and that was because her preschool ended before the public school did. But the kids will all be on the same school schedule starting next year, since they'll all be in the same school. So I did washi after I laid down like the date covers and stuff. And the date covers were old Simply Watercolor Co-Design ones that I had that were like just beachy themed. And I just went through my stickers and just pulled out all this beachy stuff to kind of use in this. But yeah, I just marked the no school on a Wednesday using some of the Simply Gilded washi that I absolutely love, and also just a no school script sticker. On Monday, we actually just had like the most fun day ever. Kids being out of school, although it was only one of them. Super ton of baking in the morning. The weekend before, I'd wanted to bake something, and then we were like out of eggs and all this other stuff, so I couldn't. We baked so much stuff, and we made homemade soft pretzels that were actually like incredibly delicious. We also made like cinnamon buns and some other things, and then a friend of my daughter's came over, one of her like preschool friends, with her mom, and is actually like one of the only like moms in her class that I get along with like super well and know pretty well. And we ended up just like hanging out all day. The girls played so nicely together. I feel like especially at that age, she's only 5, like I feel like play dates are usually like max 2.5 hours, just because like the kids start to fight, it starts to be not fun, whatever. They literally played together the whole day, and then all of a sudden I realized I had to go pick up my other kids from school. I like completely had missed that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, we gotta go. And the girls like didn't want to stop playing together, but I also had a really good time. I just spent the day like hanging out with the mom, and yeah, we just had fun, and it was like really nice and chill. Then Tuesday, opposite of that, was like absolutely miserable, because of course it was, right? Like that's just how life goes. Did we try and get the girls? Yeah, we tried to get the girls together again since we had so much fun. We took them to the playground together, and they just like immediately started fighting, and we're just fighting the whole time we were at the playground. I was like, okay, well, apparently we sold all of our luck the day before. Whatever, they're back to being best friends again. Don't even worry about it. They're in camp together this summer. They're already having an amazing time. But yeah, so that was just Tuesday. And then my son did have his regular golf lesson after school, and we just hung out. And then on Wednesday, we were finally getting back to normal, and I did like this planner setup kind of first thing Wednesday morning, getting organized for the week, or what was left of it. So the kids actually had their annual well checks on Wednesday morning. I actually did before school appointment, so I took them, and no one had to get shots. So apparently, and then after that, I did do filming catch up content, just different kind of things there. I wasn't working on any like major projects at this point, but I did have like a little bit of stuff going on, kind of just like the overall vibe, especially in June, since I know that I'm not going to have a lot of time. I try not to take like any big projects, and even right now I'm only working on like kind of minor stuff. I do like to keep it as light as possible over the summer, just kind of embracing that summer vacation spirit. On Thursday, our cleaning people were coming, and then I had a dermatologist appointment, which is why I couldn't go to my usual workout class on Thursday, the start of me kind of losing track of those credits and all of that. But great news is that I didn't end up having to get any more shots at my dermatologist. I've been getting a scar that was like keatoid. I had been getting that injected to get it go flat, and they decided it was flat enough. So I'm all done treatment, and it looks like a million times better than it did. And it's like right on like front and center in my neck. So it's really visible. And yeah, it feels good. And that is from like when I had those chemical burns a couple of years ago, which was from an allergic reaction to like an icy hot type product, not specifically icy hot, just like another brand of that. But anyway, that was horrible. It's healed super well, and that I have just like a tiny bit of scarring, which looks like it's going down, and that's great. And then I also just put in a couple of other things throughout the week, and then we were going to the beach over the weekend, which we do most weekends in the summer. And yeah, we got really bad weather at the beginning of the summer, but we finally got some nice days before my daughter had to leave to camp, so that's been really nice. But that is kind of like the base of the setup that I worked on that Wednesday. I usually just do like a couple days at a time to kind of time block things out and use this as like a weekly overview. I don't put my actual to-dos on here. I use Notion for that on my computer / on my phone. I find that a lot easier. But I did have some focuses for the week, so I did finish up the sidebar before I called it a quits for the day. Just the things that I need to focus on, some trip stuff and admin and like summer prep was full on getting ready to be in packing mode at this point. And then I finished up by making myself a weekly to-do list, which I have been doing most weeks. Some weeks I do not do it, but a lot of weeks it's pretty helpful. And if I don't make the weekly to-do list, I just kind of work off Notion and the things that I have in there. And I use the stencil with the dot marker to do like the squares for the checklist. I've been really loving that lately, except for that I tried to film that as a reel earlier today and I like could not make it work. So I'm not really sure what was going on. Maybe I was just using a weird marker. I'll have to try again because it clearly worked over here. It doesn't give you like the neatest squares, but it's a pretty cool trick. Then I came back. I'm pretty sure that this was on Friday. On Thursday, I ended up just having like a really super lazy day and not really doing anything. And I didn't really come back after, to work on anything or look at it in here. And I literally just wrote that I had a super lazy day. I did take the kids to the playground after school, which was really fun. That was something we were doing like a lot at the end of the school year as activities wound down, and it was like super nice outside. We would go to like, there's a ton of playgrounds in the area, but we would go to one of the playgrounds after school. Then on Friday, I did a bunch of like admin and camp stuff, dealt with all the paperwork for camps from like the doctors and everything. And then I also just had to do a little bit of work as well on like a blog that somebody else had written. So sometimes if it's like a topic that I know about, they'll ask me to review something or whatever. And then, I just kind of hung out and just, I don't know, enjoyed life. We had a nice June. What can I say? And it was a busy end of the school year, but it was still a really fun one. And then I am going to go in and do my habits in a second because I did just want to catch up with that. But before I decorated out and I just used the dot marker to do a little bit of decorations this week. Not really sure why I did that, but I did. And then I caught up with the habit tracker. Again, I don't always check every day, but usually I do like a couple days at a time and I can remember things well enough by then. And if it's not 100% accurate, it's not 100% accurate. Then I did come back again after we had already been to the beach. So at this point, it's like Monday morning the following week. We had a really fun weekend. It was rainy at the beach, but we still hung out. We went to the playground when it wasn't raining. It was too cool for the beach days or anything like that, but we still had a nice time with family. And then we came home, we had lunch, did our Sunday usual groceries, all the laundry, meal prep, all of the usual things we did. We were still in the school year at this point and heading in actually to our last week of school, which the week after that was the last full week of school. Just so finishing out by going through my to-do list and just a little bit of decorations there and then finishing out with that habit tracker. But that is it for this week and also for my June setup.
All right, that is everything for the June setup and for this week all finished up. I hope you enjoyed planning with me. You can also check me out on Instagram and TikTok at MyCraftyPlans if you want to see more planner fun and specifically more Plan With Me's in here. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!